Esteemed guests and dignitaries are expected to flock to the royal palace in KwaNongoma for King Misuzulu and Queen Nomazamo Myeni's traditional wedding ceremony. The ceremony comes at 2 days after a pre-wedding event called uMkhehlo, where the groom presents gifts to his soon-to-be wife. Preparations for the events have now reached an advanced stage, with the ceremony expected to start at 10 this morning. Newzroom Afrika's Phila Mthembu is at KwaNongoma for us and joins us live. Phila, what can we expect from today? We know that hundreds of dignitaries will be present, but just walk us through the sequence of events.
Indeed, Hugo, a very good morning to you. So what you are seeing currently is the start to the proceedings for the day. And what is currently happening, you can probably see the, the bride walking alongside her family members. Initially, they had been brought in here to actually be shown a cow, which is going to be slaughtered just before the bride. Now, this forms part of the cultural process that needs to be conducted, and it also serves as a significant to welcome her into the royal family. So the family members of the bride were actually outside the gate here. They had been brought in for just this process, and then they're going to be taken outside again. So with the slaughtering of this cow, it's happening on the groom's side. We're just outside the royal palace. And it, of course, is to serve a purpose of welcoming her into this family. But it's also important to note that the same procedure was also done on the bride side. Now, this is the bride's family doing the same thing. It was to release her from that particular family, which is the Myeni family, into the royal family. So this is what we can expect to also, continue as she is walking right now. She is going to go all the way around the kraal where the main event is going to be occurring today. As you can see, there's quite a number of cows over here, and we can see also people starting to trickle in. Some royal family members are also here. Hugo, that's what I can tell you. But for this particular royal family, it's also a historic day for them. One, because it is the very first time that King Misuzulu gets to experience a wedding ceremony ever since he ascended to the throne. And also the last time this royal family got to experience this was back in 2014 when King Misuzulu's father, now this is the late King Goodwill Zwelithini, married his sixth wife, Queen Mafu. So it's been over 10 years since they saw something like this. We also did see in the start of the year, there's been quite a lot of controversy around this particular relationship. Now, this is the relationship between Queen Nomazamo Myeni as well as King Misuzulu Zwelithini. When the king developed a love interest last year, we did also see him pay lobola. It was about 16 cows for Queen Myeni. And, they were initially supposed to have this particular ceremony in January this year. But then, this was also taken to court now by the first wife, Queen Phila, who had actually filed an urgent application with the Pietermaritzburg High Court, calling for this particular process to be interdicted, saying that she is in, a civil union with the king, and that it was against the law for King Misuzulu Zwelithini to continue with this process. Would recall that the matter was then struck off the roll, and this is what we get to see months later. It's also now early to tell, but we are awaiting with anticipation to see exactly who is going to be attending today. Can we even expect to see Queen Phila being in attendance, following what has been made also public about where she stands with this particular relationship. But also this comes at a time now where the royal family had lost one of the senior members. Now that is Queen Myeni, who passed away, and it's going to be quite a bittersweet moment taking that into account. But a lot of jubilation as the process continues. There was a ceremony called uMkhehlo, which happened 2 days ago, and we did also, see the king over there gets to gift his wife to be. It is a gifting ceremony that's happened. The gifts are either, monetary or materialistic gifts, but it also forms part of the traditional, wedding, traditional ceremony that has to be conducted for the newlyweds. We can expect to see this particular service start at around 10 o'clock this morning, but then it looks highly unlikely that it is going to start on time, Hugo.
Phila, a couple of issues I want to raise with you. You've talked about uMkhehlo, which is the gifting by the king to his would-be bride. Do we have an idea of what those gifts were actually? And you've also talked about the controversy that's surrounded the king's family, the infighting, the various battles that have occurred. Does this traditional ceremony allow an opportunity to build bridges, so to speak? Do we expect it to be unifying in some way?
I mean, one would expect for this ceremony to serve that purpose, but by the looks of things, you also need to face reality here. With that uMkhehlo ceremony, which happened about 2 days ago, I read an article actually from Sunday World saying that when there was the former commander of the regiment, Prince Vanana, speaking, giving a Thanksgiving there, he actually did mention that there's still a kind of a division within the royal family, that some of the members were still not in support of it, but then this particular ceremony is still continuing regardless. It's been something that has sparked so much conversations, and when you even take it back, it had also seen, traditionalists and cultural experts speaking about this particular union, saying that, with King Misuzulu being the custodian of the isiZulu culture, they were not even expecting him to take as a wife, a queen that gets to join this family with children. This is not the expectation that they had of him, but there is still a division within the royal household, and one can only hope that it's going to bring everybody together, because a ceremony like this actually signifies, and it serves to bring together two families and form them as one. But when you consider these challenges, I mean, it's still very early to tell.
After today's rituals, what are we expecting in terms of public celebrations at the palace, processions, formal addresses? Walk us through that side of things.
So we can expect to see a prayer service being conducted, and this particular prayer service is going to be led by the Shembe Church. You'd recall, Hugo, that the king is a member of the Shembe Church, so it's going to form a part of an important process when it comes to this particular event, because now this is where they get to ask for blessings, and then we will get a number of dignitaries, even people from outside South Africa are expected to come in here and celebrate this historic day for the Zulu royal family. We do know that there's also a kraal at the back there where most of the proceedings are going to be happening in, and we're going to have to actually wait and see as the day progresses with regards to who exactly is going to be speaking and what is it that we can expect to see unfold as the day progresses.
Phila, King Misuzulu is the king of the Zulu people. We've talked about several dignitaries, hundreds of dignitaries that have been invited to witness or to celebrate with the king and his family today. Let's talk about the people, or the Zulu people, the regular man and woman on the street, if you will. Is there a chance for them to join the celebrations? Is there any space set aside for them?
Indeed, remember, this is a ceremony that has been open to the public. We can expect to see the maidens coming in here and giving a traditional performance. We can also expect to see amabutho. Now, you'd recall that amabutho forms are actually a group that forms part of an important aspect of this particular event. When you see the king in public, he's usually surrounded by amabutho. So we can expect him to come here and celebrate and break into traditional dance. We can expect to see quite a number of dignitaries as well in attendance. But we did also speak to a royal family member yesterday. He's told us that they are pretty much excited and that everybody should come here to join them and celebrate this historic day. And if there's any time to actually put aside the controversies surrounding the Zulu royal family, today is the day to actually put aside all of that and celebrate the union of King Misuzulu Kazwelithini as well as Queen Nomazamo Myeni. It's been also quite a long time since we had seen Queen Kamaisela making a public presence alongside King Misuzulu Kazwelithini. So it's going to be interesting as well to see if the other wives are going to be a part of this. What we do know is that, they are not prohibited to actually show their support or to be in attendance. And this particular traditional ceremony, you'd remember that it is the very first one. So the first wife, Queen Kamaisela, has never seen anything like this alongside her husband. They've never experienced it. We do know that the king has 3 wives at the moment. So Queen Nomazamo Myeni is wife number 2, and she actually becomes the very first person, the first queen to experience this alongside the king, her husband.
Now, all this comes on the backdrop of the king winning a court case in which President Cyril Ramaphosa officially recognized him as the legitimate king of the Zulu people. Is there any role for government, for officials to play in the ceremony, or is it purely traditional and excludes government or any other formalities?
We are yet to find out, Hugo, when it comes to that particular aspect. But when it comes also to that matter, we did remember, seeing the royal family actually welcoming that ruling. But everything remains as a surprise for us. I guess we are going to be tracking everything as it develops. But indeed, we can expect to see government officials being a part of this ceremony. But necessarily, who exactly is going to be given a platform to actually speak on behalf of governments, I guess it remains hidden right now, and it's a surprise that is in store for us. But we will surely bring it to you as soon as we have the latest on that.
And Phila, very quickly before we let you go, weddings of any nature are associated with dress and looking fabulous. Now, you're looking the part, clearly well curated, your outfit. Talk to us about what sort of dress we can expect, or what have you already seen from some of those that have arrived?
The invitation clearly stated everybody who is going to be in attendance needs to ensure that they come in dressed in their traditional regalia, their traditional attires, and look their best part that they can ever look when it comes to such a ceremony. We do know that this is in fact a traditional wedding, so we can expect to see quite a number of looks. I mean, I've already showed you what I am rocking today, but I guess you're going to have to see the guests as well as they come through. But what we do know is that it is a traditional wedding, and everybody has been advised to come here looking all traditional and in their traditional outfits. Hugo, we'll bring you the fashion as well as people start, making their way here. But it's still quite empty. What we can see now are just marquees, some final preparations. There's actually music also playing in the background. There's been a sound system which has been tested just to ensure that everything goes smoothly today for these proceedings.
Phila Mthembu coming to us from the Royal Palace in Nongoma, looking the part ahead of the traditional wedding of King Misuzulu to Queen Nomazamo Myeni. That's where we'll leave that conversation, crossing back to him a little bit later on as he